What's up, everybody? We're day 72, and let me do my little disclaimer here. We don't condone or encourage drug use. And if you're not 18, please leave now. Appreciate it. But we are entering into day 72 of flower, and we cut just about everything out. We still have these two small alpha skunks, but all the alpha went into the canitrol. Almost all of the Verdi went in. Most of the space in the canitrol was this. I mean, because it was, all up here, and those nugs were huge, so they took up a lot of space. That's kind of a downfall of the canitrol, I guess. It's not very big when it comes to, if you have a big plant, like let's say I had 5 big plants in here, you're only going to get one. And they all 5 finished at the same time, and I got, let's say, 7 pounds. Well, the canna only holds 2, so take that into account. But what we did, and what a lot of people do, is, well, basically what I did is cut the tops off of everything, because the tops finished first. Remember, we had super cropped them. Once they finished, we took all the tops, put them in the canitrol, went 4 days, let them basically the others kind of finish up. We took the dry flower that was out of the canitrol, the 4-day dry, which probably could have went 5 days, but we went 4 anyway. We put it into the grove bags. Inside the grove bag, we put a VV pack, VIVI, VV, and they were sent to us by that company. And supposedly, you drop that pack into your your curing container, your bag or your jar, and no burping required. You just have to drop it in there, seal it up, and wait 10 days, and supposedly have dry flower. Cured and dried smokable flower. And of course, the longer you go, probably I would say a good 2 or 3 weeks, and it should be really good then. But I must say, I took when I took the first round that I put the tops, basically put those in the canitrol, dried them 4 days, put them in the bags 4 days. So yesterday I opened up the bags that I put in 8 days ago to take out the second round of dry and put in the grove bags, and I removed some of the flour out of the grove bag and smoked it, and it was pretty good. You could still needs to dry, still needed to go a lot, probably another 8 to 10 days, but the weight was there, the stickiness was there. It was very nice, I must say. Definitely still needed a little curing though. What's up, guys? I try to get him. Throw some food down there. Digger was asleep over there just a second ago. We'll throw Digger a couple of nuggets over there. You'll find them. There you go. Tell you what, I'm extremely pleased at the clarity of the water, the health of the fish and the turtle. And the way I judge the health of the fish is just the way they act. You can also, the goldfish is Pooter is oh, look at, is that Plinko picking off of Pooter? That was cool. I don't know if you saw that or not. Plinko was kind of picking off of I tell the health of everything by the color. You can see Pooter is super bright. You can tell by the back of the shells of the turtles. What'll happen is over time they'll get, if you have poor water quality, the shells get this slime on it. And this is why you see a lot of people brushing their turtles. They'll take their turtle out, clean the turtle, and that's well and good. You don't have to do it because I don't have to do it because I'm using lactic acid bacteria and EM1. So I'm just dumping lactic acid bacteria, what I make, into the pond. And the lactic acid bacteria is what's eating all the bad bacteria. And you would be amazed at how well, I'm shocked. I've never done it before. This is actually the first time. I've been doing it from the beginning though. So since I started putting this in, maybe about a week into it, I started dumping about a half of a shot glass, a shot glass of lactic acid bacteria in there. And I must say, it's working like a charm. I have no filter box, so the creek is the filter. So what I'm doing is, what I'm trying to do is, and it looks like it is working, is grow grasses and brush and like this dog fennel and grasses and all these like ferns, all this stuff on the edge of our creek system where we've built up that sand, silt, and clay, organic matter, all this stuff. You can see it. The creek starts way down here, and the grasses have grown up the creek wall on into the bed. So the creek wall is right here, and then the soil comes in, and what we're doing is building up. Eventually, like the creek wall here, this is the creek wall. Right through here, you can see the rock wall. This is the soil layer through here, but this is the rock wall. And then the other creek rock wall is right, you can see it right through there. So we have the creek wall here, and the creek wall running around here. And what we're doing is building that biology that eventually you won't see the rock wall, like you don't here. Like it's been covered by sand, silt, clay, organic matter. The worms and isopods, you can see this is their little hotel over here underneath the turtle shell. But what they do is they break down all this sand and silt, turn it into soil. You can see like little worm castings that used to be all sand, silt, and the clays that are in the creek that we brought up from the reservoir that we live on. So I'll show you. I actually have some right here. This sand is just from down at our reservoir here. We just go down to the edge. It smells like swamp ass when we first go down there because it's so rich in organic matter. What we do is we spread that out onto our driveway and let the sun cook it out. It turns it into the clean sand, silt, and clays and organic matter that we need. It's rich in aquatic biology. So we're taking aquatic biology and we're giving it its home. And then we're coming up out of the aquatic into the terrestrial. And we're going to let biology and worms and the soil food web turn all of this over time into plant available nutrients that are being wicked up from the creek. All the algae and the shrimp poo and the shrimp carcasses and the fish poo and all that aquatic biology is being wicked up the hill here, and then the plants can eventually, boom, connect to it, and we'll have terrestrial and aquatic bridged together and giving us a high quality product is what we're after. Just, we're looking for those secondary metabolites to, producing all the other good stuff that we want. But that's how this thing is work. Also, it's in a horizontal soil system, so if you want to look up horizontal soil system, or just horizontal soil, I research. A lot of people are asking me how I got to this point, and I got to this point. One, I've had aquariums my whole life. Had a fish pond out here at my grandparents' house for 23 years. I know the aquatic side of it, like I said, through the fish tanks, through saltwater aquarium. I had a reef tank, so I'm very familiar with how, you have your beautiful aquarium on top, but then you cycle that water down to your sub tank. The sub tank underneath is where all your cleaning is going on, and then it's pumped back up. That clean water is then pumped back up, so you're basically filtering the water. Same principle here. I'm using one pump. A lot of my biology, all the fish, turtles, everything are in here. We pump that water up into the creek system, and then the creek, along with the more grasses, the algae, all the different types of plants that we get around the creek are going to tap into that creek. We're going to get roots into the creek system. The more roots we get into the creek system, the more filtration we have. So at the beginning here, we're using these just regular old fish aquarium pads. They're full of biochar that clean the water. So we just set one of those in there and catching a lot of that debris. And then these are Chemi Pure bags. They've just got clays and biochar in them. Help clean the water. The algae is fine. It helps clean the water. We need the algae for food. We don't want to get it out of hand, but that string algae is a good algae to have. It is not a bad thing, but we don't want it taken over. So when I see it like this, the best way to get rid of it is just to come in here and do a little maintenance. This is like your normal maintenance that you have to do in a system like this. And what we do is we get that algae like that, and this is, I can't tell you, everything loves algae. All the critters, the worms run through it like it's butter. Like it's like a delicacy to the worm, and it's packed full of nutrients. So we just put it down in there and we do this all the time. I've built up a mound right here, and you can just pull apart this mound. You can see the worms. See, they just love it. So if I ever want a worm, I just come right over here, grab it. But just imagine the biology in there right now. That is just, it's not anaerobic. It's right on that line, though. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that right on that line of anaerobic to aerobic. And there's a fine line there. I'm noticing that in only this sand and silt and the clay, only nature could do something like that. Like keep it on that exact fine line of moisture, but not overdoing it, not making it go anaerobic, but staying right on that line. And then we're going to transfer that into our soil. Let the roots of the plants grow to the creek wall. Let the soil wick that water up. We have lots of sand and silt in there. It mixed into the soil that the worms are breaking down. So you remember when we topped off here with all that sand and silt? We got a lot more water in our hole because it was wicking so much more water with that fresh sand and silt and clay that we put down. But over time, as the critters turn it into soil or worm castings, put that into our soil. We worked this all the way. So what this looks like is what this looks like here, just in the soil. So all those worm castings are available to the plants. And what we get are terpy ass trees. This one plant here, I know, had easy close to 1.5 pounds on it of wet, maybe 2 pounds of wet. These top buds were just so big and so heavy. You know, remember we were hanging them up, but once I got them down, each one was just a handful and weighed a lot. The moisture content is continuous. So we may have to dial in the canitrol. You know, we may, instead of the 4-day dry, it may take 5 days. That's why when I mentioned, you know, we should have gone 5 days instead of 4 days in the dry, which we can set. Which the dry and the cure and the canitrol there's hardly any day. There's no difference in temperature, only a difference in humidity and the dew point. So your dew point goes from 54 to 52. When you put the wet cannabis right in the canitrol to begin with, your dew point goes up because of the wet flower. You turn on the dry mode, you can watch that over the next 4 days go all the way down from wherever you're at. Like I was at like 58%. You're supposed to be at 54, but what it does is it'll start you at it'll be 58 because of the wet flower, and then at the end of 4 days it'll go down to 52, flip into cure, it'll stay at 52. You put your sponge in after the first day. I'm sorry, I forgot that. You put your wet sponge in after your first 24 hours or so. You can actually watch. You'll have to dump the tray out, water. It'll be sucking out so much water. And then it's a slow process over the next 3 days. And then if you want, you just leave the flower right in, and automatically does it for you. So if I didn't have more going in, the flower in 8 days would be smokable by now. But I had to remove it and put it in grove bags because I just had too much. I mean, right now we're sitting at a little over, like, probably after this and that, probably close to 8 pounds of wet flower. So we'll probably end up with around 3.5 to 4 pounds of dry smokable flower, which is pretty good for me and my wife. And that's gonna get us through the next 4 months while we grow the others. So I'm just trying to grow enough for me and my wife to sustain us for the 4 months, and then start over the cycle. And by the time we get done with the next cycle, we are still smoking on our last cycle, and we never run out of our medicine. And I have something that's fun to do, and I enjoy sharing with everybody. And that's what this is all about. I started this over here in this corner right here with a 4x4, and it grew into this. So actually we didn't start right here. Actually I started in my house, growing outside, but I had a tent set up in my house, just a little 4x4, and I had a 4x4 grassroots living soil bed in there where I was experimenting, and that was in a horizontal soil system as well. And then I made another one out here, set that up in horizontal soil. That's when I started Instagram. And then we grew from that to this. While we were growing in here, we were building this. And so we're coming up, actually November 29th will be 2 years on Instagram. So I really started sharing all this just 2 years ago. And we just hit 100,000 subscribers on Instagram, so that was awesome. Kind of crazy. I never thought I'd have 100,000 followers ever on no social media platform, because I'm not social media platform material really. I mean, I just don't, I don't never enjoyed getting on Facebook or anything like that. I have an account, but I'm not on there. Now I do enjoy the Instagram because I have something to show, and I enjoy it. It's my new hobby, so to speak. I was looking for a hobby, and I found one. So, this is our palm. Let's bring that in from outside. Let's see if Digger's not up yet. He is up because he turned around. He was facing me just a minute ago. He got up, turned around, went in. That's his spot. So yeah, we're just gonna play these by ear, We'll keep an eye on them. They are done. We've got the light down. Light intensity is down like 35%. It's only like 450, 500 ppfd right through here. Probably like 350, 400 over there. We're still in the 12-12 cycle. We'll probably stay in the 12-12 till tomorrow. I'm gonna give these. I'm gonna go today. I'm probably gonna figure out a way to hang these. We'll get the dry room set up. Just hang these for the next 3 or 4 days. That's why I was kind of just depending on just waiting. You know what I mean? Instead of setting up a dry room, which I'd have to start all over again because I dismantled it. So I'd have to hang the plastic again, all that crap. It'd be a pain in the ass. Bring the dehu in, bring all that other humidifier in, and this time of year it's going to need the humidifier. It's 70 degrees today, it's going to be 50 tomorrow. It's just around here it's a pain in the ass. And holding temperature consistent is how you keep your terpenes. If you can't be consistent in your drying and curing, then you're screwing yourself. And that's what I was doing. I was screwing myself, not being consistent. Like what I mean by that is like I couldn't hold the temperature would be just fluxing like this. It'd be 75 one day and then down to 62, and then it would be back up to 68 and back down to 62, and I would hold at 60. Very hard to do in the summertime. Like I could only hold 60 for a short amount of time, and then I realized that 60 is not the correct way to dry cannabis, and this is being proven over and over again, but somehow 60 seems to be stuck in people's heads. But we're going to get away from that, or I am. You don't have to, but I am. It is not the proper way. Plus, good luck if you can hold it there. You're just wasting your time, and the flower, this outside water, needs to come off quickly. The inside water, the molecular water, needs to stay at a certain percentage because you want that weight. You don't want to dry it all the way. You want some, but not all. So you want, I think it's like 11%, 6%, something like that. I can't remember what exactly it is, but I know the Canatrol is dialed in to get you there. The research has been done. And yeah, the guy who owns Canatrol, I watched an interview. He was a cheese guy, and basically all he did was take a wine fridge and add a dehumidifier, a specialized dehumidifier that he patented, to the back of that thing, and incorporated it into the wine fridge where he can maintain VPD in that dew point. So VPD and dew point are everything. We're not focused on humidity. We're focused on temperature and dew point. And it's going to give us a stable VPD, not the same VPD that I'm talking about in here when it comes to the leaf. We're talking about a different VPD. It's the same, but we're talking about pressure inside the box, not on the leaf surface. So we're talking about a different VPD. but we want to maintain that VPD all the way through that dry and cure, and he's staying at 68 degrees at 54% humidity, and then we're going down to 52%, staying at 68 the whole time, but we're just fluxing that dew point from 54 to 52 back to 54. That's it. And we're maintaining that consistently, and that's the key. That really is the consistency. Once you take it out of the Canatrol and you say you put it in a jar and you take it out in the car and it's 90 degrees outside and you put that jar and that jar stays in that, when you open up that jar, you're going to get hit with a strong terpene, whatever that flower was, because the heat is going to volatilize. It's going to off-gas that terpene right in the jar. You're going to lose a lot. It's just not good. It's like leaving a bottle of wine, or storing a bottle of wine improperly. They should be stored properly, and once they're opened, they should be finished pretty quickly. Or if they're not, retapped and stored properly. And that's the way it is with the cannabis. That's how I like to do it anyway. And you can do what you want. I'm not here to tell you how to do anything. I'm just telling you how I do it. And you can take what you want and leave the rest. That's what I do. Take everything with a grain of salt. Do your research. Do what fits your grow. This grow is not. This is unlike any grow you're going to find. So I've already realized that. I searched out information on something like this, and you're not going to find it other than what I'm doing right here. If you do find it, please let me know, because I want to follow them too. Hopefully I can inspire a couple of people to build their own. I can help them, and we can learn together. So that's what it's all about. Community and building something cool and new. There's many different ways to grow. So with that, I shall see you later. Peace.